Hey everyone and welcome back. So in this video we are going to start working with our view model that is going to send some commands to our call service using bind service. So to handle bind service, I'll create a function and name it init, and inside it I'll create an intent and pass the context of the view model, which I'll implement here, private val context, private val JSON that we will use later. It's telling me, hey, be careful about the static field leak, and I'll tell him, hey, I'll handle it myself, do not worry about it. So I'll simply pass the context here inside the intent and the call service class.java, and then apply a block to it, and I'll set the action is going to be call service action.start.name and add the apply block to it. First we want to use call service dot start service and pass the context to it, and then using the context we want to bind service and pass the intent to it, which we will pass this. And for the service connection I'll create it in a second, service connection, and use the context dot bind auto create as the flag. Okay, now let's create this service connection. So I'll create it like this, service connection. It's going to be instantiated anonymously object of type service connection, and I'll implement the members like this. Inside here, using the service object, I'll cast it as call service dot local binder, and then I'll create an object of my call service here, private var call service of type call service. It's going to be null initially, and then private var is bound is equal to false initially. So right here, I'll instantiate my call service to binder dot get service, and then set is bound to true, and then handle service bound function that I'll create in a second. So right here, when the service disconnected, I'll set is bound to false. So when we use the init function, we will try to bind this service connection to our main service. So let's create our handle, private fun handle service bound, and in this function we will observe the states inside the service. So also we want to, when uncleared is being called inside our view model, we want to check if the service is bound. If it's true, then use the context and unbind service and pass the service connection to it so we can unbind it, and then is bound to false, and then set is bound to false. Pretty much straightforward. So whenever this init block is called, we will start our service. Now let's go back to our home screen and uncomment this line. So whenever all the permission is granted, the view model is going to be initialized. So we want to move to our call service and create a state for our actually room models, exact same as our view models. So I'll create a section here, states, and then create my state. So room state, it's a type of mutable state flow of a list of room model, which can be null, and its value is going to be mutable state flow of null initially. So inside our view model, when the service is being bound, I want to use my call service and using room state object, and on each get the rooms, then room state object of this class, which is here, and emit the room to this one and launch it inside the view model scope. So right now, if the service gets spawned, whenever this state inside call service get updated, then we are able to observe it inside our view model and then inside our home screen. Right now, let's find a way to update this room state, which is going to be done here when we receive a new message. So let's bring it up here. Right here, we will use a when statement and pass message type. For now, we will add an else. We do a unit. And if we get a room status, I'll import this part. I want to handle room status and pass a message to it. So let's create this function. So we know we are receiving the room list throughout this object. So what I have to do is to, just convert back the JSON object from a JSON object to a JSON object and then convert to the list of rooms. So to do that, I'll create a type which is going to be an object of type token and pass the list of room models to it. And add the constructor and curly braces and pass the type. And down below, my rooms object of type list of room model, and the value of it is going to be JSON dot from JSON. I don't have the JSON object here. I'll inject it up here. Let's init var JSON of type JSON from JSON, and we will pass message.data.toString and the type as the conversation type. I would like to wrap it inside try catch block. And then if we have the rooms, then we update the room state.value to rooms. Okay, so in this scenario, whenever we receive a room status signal, we will see that these room states get updated, and then after that, this room state inside our view model gets updated, and then inside my home screen that I'm observing this room state value of the view model, which I'll collect it as state. I'll update all of the rows using that state of the room. So that's how we can observe the status of the room and create the room object. In the next video, we will see how to create a new room and join the chat rooms. So till the next video, see you everyone.